Alright guys, we're gonna do some tutorials for ATS here. We're gonna start off by extracting all our files and stuff we need to get references. So what we're gonna need is a few things. First is the SCS extractor. You guys can go Google that. I'd recommend downloading it right from their Mod Tools webpage, nowhere else. And once you have that extracted and saved to your desktop, you can follow along. And we're going to go here to our documents, or my documents folder, and in there will be an American Truck Simulator folder. So we're going to go into that. I've got a bunch of crap and clutter in here that you won't have, but just bear with it, and we'll carry on here. So we're going to make a new folder. We're going to call that folder base, B-A-S-E, all lowercase. Alright, inside this base folder, we're going to extract or take this SCS extractor and we're going to put it in that base folder of ours. Now we're going to open a new window here. And we're going to open it on the local drive, C drive on my machine. I'm on a 64-bit machine, so I'm going to be going into this x86 file, but you're looking for program files. And we're looking for Steam, and then Steam apps. We're going to go into the common folder and American Truck Simulator. We're going to grab this base.scs and this def.scs, and we're going to copy those and we're going to paste them over here. So we're going to extract these. The base takes a little while. It can take up to 15 minutes, so let it do its thing. It will automatically close when it's complete, so don't be closing the window, just let it run its course. When we go to extract the base here, I'm going to run down a state variant button setup in Zmodeler for you. So we're going to do the def right now. We're going to grab it and we're going to drag and drop it right on top of that extractor there, and we're going to click run. And it's done. So we've got all these files here now. Okay. So we're going to grab and drop this base right on top of here as well. And this will take a while. So we're going to let this sit here. It should only take a couple minutes on my machine. We're going to go in here. Now Zmodeler I really like because of the ease of access. You're not going through a pile of menus all the time versus like you do in Blender. But these custom scene states here, they make things so much nicer to work with, faster, and it really gives you an easy way to set up different structures in your model. So what we're going to do here quickly to show you is I'm going to throw a cube up here, or a box, or a rectangle. Okay, now I'm going to throw a cylinder here as well. Then I'm going to throw a sphere. Didn't really want that one. We'll get rid of you. Okay. So now these are all individual objects, and you can toggle their activity on the viewport by clicking one of these toggle boxes. But in order to make this a part of a scene state like SCS does with their PMD files, we're going to create a new state. And we're going to go one of variative and affect geometry. We will get to the materials later on. So we're going to call this one box. We're going to make another one and we'll call it cylinder. And we'll call a new one sphere. Oh. Alright, and we'll make one more and we're going to call it all. So now what we can do here is when we click on one of these, in this box there is no assigned state. So if we want to assign a state to box, we'll highlight box and we'll pick one of these, and we're going to pick box. We're going to convert that to a compound, and you'll see that now there's a box. This box is, I should have named this cube, but either way, this box here is assigned this state buttons box. Just so you can see, I'll assign it cylinder. So now when we click on box down here, it says cylinder is the assigned state. So we're going to actually dismiss that. We're going to put our box back. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing for cylinder. Make sure there's nothing toggled but the cylinder. Same thing for the sphere. Okay. Now, when we click box, it shows up. The cylinder, it shows up. We can get rid of the box or the sphere, all with state buttons. But now if we want this all button to work for all of our objects, we're going to redo these, and we're going to go back to our box, and it says box here, but we want it to work with box button and the all button. So we're going to highlight both of them. We're going to dismiss, and we're going to convert back to a compound. And now you can see the box works for the box and all works for the box. So we're going to go ahead and do the rest of these. Okay, so now when I click all, they all show up. When I click cylinder or box, they can come individually. Okay, so that's how you can take one model file and have 10 different chassis variants and 5 different cabs, and it really makes things neat. So here we got our extraction done. So now in your vehicle folder, you're going to have no trucks. They come as DLCs. You're going to have your trailers. So you can go ahead and play with these trailers if you like. But we're going to go back into this folder where we got our base and def files from. And we're going to grab the 680. Now we'll grab this Peterbilt 579. You guys can grab them all if you want. We're going to paste that back into our base folder we created. We're going to drag and drop it on the extractor, and we're going to run it. We can actually close this window for now. So it's done running its extraction. We can go into truck now, and we'll see Peterbilt 579's in there. And it's set up, and it spread out its files properly throughout the folder system here. So let's see. So what we're going to do now is we can actually go and try and import a truck now, and we'll clear up any issues that come with that. So we're going to go into our Zmodeler, and we're going to go up to this blue arrow, import, or to file import. We're going to go here, and we're going to go to our documents, American Truck Simulator, and the base folder that we had just created. We're going to go down to vehicle, truck, and then the Peterbilt 579. And inside this folder, the truck PMD. So we click it once. We're going to set our base.scs here to our base folder that we had just created. So documents, my documents, American Truck Simulator, and base. And this mod folder, well, we'll get into this with the next few tutorials. But for now, because we're using a stock truck, we'll just go and set it to our American Truck Simulator and our base folder that we just created as well. We'll retain our material names so we don't end up with duplicates throughout our folder structure. And we'll click import. Now, you'll notice first thing we got an error. And this will happen with all new extractions. So we're going to correct that. And I'll show you here. You can see hopefully on this truck you should be able to see it. Yes, see the purple? Okay, now this purple texture means it's missing. We'll go to this texture browser up here, and you'll see that vehicle reflection is the one that's missing, as does the message bar tells us. So we're going to minimize this, and we're going to go into our base folder that we had created, and we're going to go to material and environment, and at the bottom will be a UI reflection _s. We're going to copy this, and we're going to paste it right here back in this same folder, but we're going to rename this to vehicle reflection. Okay, just like that right there. So we can minimize that. We can go back into Zmodeler now, and we could reload this texture, but I prefer to close it out and reload so everything comes back, so you don't get next time on import it looking for a texture that's not there. You'll end up with multiple t-object files and whatnot. So always correct your errors before you start modding. If you were to start modding right now, not that you can't correct this texture error, but it becomes more difficult later on down the line. I have a phone call. Sorry about that. Okay, back at it. So I kind of forget where I was at. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna clear this scene. Oh, what I was mentioning is always correct your errors before you mod. It just makes things easier. So we're gonna clear this scene, and we're going to re-import this truck. Okay, make sure your base folder is set up correctly. We'll import, and you'll notice we have no errors now. Okay, and we'll throw a cab and everything on it, and the purple's gone. But you see all this white here. This is a modeling shadow. We can very easily get rid of this, and most models only have one. We're going to go to the material browser up here. We're going to look for, under adapt, in these textures that says shadow only right here. There is a fake shadow that usually isn't an issue, but the shadow only, if you watch when I toggle it off, the difference it makes on the truck. So just something to remember when you bring a model in. Alright, well, I think that's going to wrap up this tutorial, and we will carry on with others next time.